Welcome, everyone. It's Mo from Mo in the Deep End, and holy fazolies, I am Twitter-pated already today. My car apparently had a flat tire on the back. Mr. Mo had told me, hey, if that starts becoming more than a slow leak, let me know. Apparently, it was at beyond slow leak territory, so I had to drive the Prius behind him. I've never driven that car. Who the hell puts a park on a button? And you can't hear I am Twitter-pated. You can't hear the engine running. I was like, oh, for the love of pineapples, I'm gonna break this. Welcome, Cynthia, retired firefighter. You are number one. Wolfram for doing all the Modly stuff, which we appreciate. Nanny Goat and Giggles, welcome. Squid Pro Quo, welcome to you. Celestial Force, good morning. And JKD Buck, Mo Kwando, that would be an awesome thing. That's what we'll do. Mochi and Mo Kwando. Erin Olivia, Tammy, Peter A, Hey Joe, Deborah, Jariah, and Debbie W, the Snatcher, and Zach. So we have a lot of New York stuff today, and one story that I want you to kind of pay attention to, because I am going to look to see if I can help this family, because this is quite terrible. And welcome K Matt Tweet Queen and Captain Kern and K Marshall. So our first story is DA's acting badly. I mean, who would have thought? I mean, after we saw the stellar performance of Binger, that welcome we that DAs could be bad, but upstate New York politicians want hostile DA who refused to stop for speeding and called cop an a-hole to be investigated by the Attorney General James. Quote, it erodes public trust. This video is going all over as soon as I turned on TikTok, or not TikTok, the Twitters. I mean, this is all over the place. This woman will probably lose her job for good reason. Oh no. I would be annoyed too. She is quite a pill, or a C word if you would. But it's early in the morning and I'm trying not to curse, but she was definitely a pill and a half. So let's see who this woman is. This woman, she doesn't look like she wants to talk to your manager right now. Right? Meow. A hostile upstate New York district attorney who was caught on body cam footage calling a police officer an a-hole after he tried to pull her over for speeding may soon have more to worry about than local officials. Or local authorities. The Rochester City Council wants a state inquiry into Monroe County District Attorney Chandra Dorley's belligerent conduct, and sent a letter to Attorney General Letitia James Saturday asking for her to investigate the situation. So this woman basically was like, oh, there's cops following me. Well, that can't be for me. I'm going home. Quote, recent body camera footage shared by Webster Police Department has raised significant concerns regarding Miss Dorley's behavior during a traffic stop in Webster, New York, reads the letter, which was signed by all 9 city council members. Oh, you got all 9 city council members against you? Y'all, I have been on I've been adjacent to an HOA to get everyone to agree to something. Yeah, this was astronomically self-entitlement. I don't even know how one functions. I could play her as a character, but I have no well with which to draw that amount of entitlement. I'd have to watch a bunch of, Taylor Lorenz videos. The incident has led us to question her fitness to serve as district attorney, and we believe an investigation by your office is warranted. Lawmakers said that public officials are, quote, held to the highest standards of ethics. Okay. Accountability and respect for the law, and Durley's behavior appears to have violated these standards. Well, I'm glad you all are pretending you have standards anymore. It helps with the verisimilitude that we're, still in a functioning republic. Yeah, I do love, look at this Karen stance. Oh my gosh, she is calling your manager's manager. I don't even know that I could play her. But I'm willing to try. Dorley admitted that she was going 55 miles in the 35-mile speed zone on Phillips Road in Webster, less than a half a mile from her neighborhood, on Monday, after footage of the embarrassing exchange showed her defiantly telling cops, quote, "I don't care," when they followed her home. They told her she should have stopped when they flagged her from behind with flashing lights. Quote, "Once I realized the intention of the police officer was to pull me over, I called the Webster police chief to inform him that I was not a threat and I would speak to the officer at my house down the street." Excuse me? Excuse me? Wait a minute. So if I call someone's number, I can totally do it. This is what the Sobsits were getting wrong. You are supposed to call the police chief and tell them you're not a threat, and then, just finagle your way to going back home. This woman, you can tell a lot about a person's character by how they treat people that they feel are there to serve them, or people that serve. Like, it is a deal breaker if I see someone acting real hateful or mean to a server. This woman, look, she's not allowed to go to restaurants with me. Yeah, I didn't realize that you could just say, hey, no, no, when I touch home base, I'm not it. And we all yell, Ollie, Ollie, Oxenfree, and it's done. The officer followed her home and issued Dorley a ticket, which she accepted. The DA pled guilty in municipal court on Tuesday, quote, "because I believe in accepting my responsibility for my actions and had no intention of using my position to receive a benefit." Ma'am, you called Chuck on the police, from your friend Chuck from, the Masonic Lodge or whatever. And you're like, no, Chuck, seriously, one of your people has gone crazy over here. He's trying to arrest me. I mean, right. Body cam footage released by Webster cops Friday shows the tense exchange between Dorley and the officer in her driveway. Now, I think what I might do with this one, guys, because there is nothing that entitled Karens love worse than me donning a wig and pretending to be them. See Donna Adelson. So I believe I will be doing a wig, a full-on Karen, commentary for this video. When the cop tells her that she was doing 55 in a 35, she said she really didn't care. She gets on the phone and calls Webster's chief of police, Dennis Kohlmeyer, to ask, "Can you please tell them to leave me alone?" Dorley refuses to step outside her garage to speak with officers. She dismissively hands the cop the phone to speak with the chief and tells him to just go away. The officer can be heard explaining what happened on the phone. Yes, ma'am, I think you're going to be seeing a lot of this chick for a while. Then she storms inside the house against officers' orders. He explains that he's trying to conduct a traffic stop, and she shoots back, "I know the law better than you," the footage shows. So what is it you're so against me? I'm doing my job. You say you're a DA? The cop asks at one point. She says, "I am the DA." She's like, "I am the Senate." She emphatically snaps back and fetches her badge out of the car as she calls him an a-hole. Richard C. Lewis, president of New York State Bar Association, said James would be the appropriate person to look into the Dorley case. Quote, "It's improper for any public official to in any way assume entitlement and use their position to get favorable treatment. Congress, I got some subpoenas I need to send you." Nancy Pelosi, how do you always win at the stock market? So I definitely will be, probably today, if I can make it, do Karen narrating her own Karen-ness, because I love it. Now, this is the story that I do want to do a little bit of a further research on. because this one kind of hits me right in the heart. A New York firefighter, 36, dies of a heart attack after being fired to pay for other obligations the city finds more important, or for the migrant care, I guess they were slashing budgets, leaving his family with nothing. So I haven't read this article, but a young father passing away, just, it really does touch my heart, and I understand a lot of the things that they're going to be going through. Not exactly, but this is such a terrible time for them. A FDNY firefighter died of a heart attack just months after he was fired as part of the city's effort to free up funds for other things that need to be taken care of: migrant housing, clothing, food, stuff like that. So I believe all budgets in New York City, I want to say all public service, were slashed by 13 or 10%. Don't quote me on the number, but I know a lot of people lost their jobs. Leaving his grieving widow and kids struggling to keep a roof over their head. Derek Floyd, 36, suffered cardiac arrest and passed away April 15th, 4 months after the city gave him the boot as a part of a larger effort to pare down staff and pay for housing and services for the influx of migrants flooding the Big Apple. And I don't try to get political on this channel, but this really bothers me. Squid pro quo, stay safe, have a fun day, and thanks for lurking. Floyd was one of about 10 fire department employees who had been on long-term duty, either injured on the job or given office work, or out sick for an extended period, and fired before Christmas, the Fire Department of New York sources told the Post. Floyd, a veteran who served 3 tours in the Middle East with the Marines, had been among those working a desk job, toiling for the fire department's chaplain office, because he had suffered another heart attack in 2019 when he was in the fire academy. In the chaplain's office, the firefighter who was on modified duty helped arrange the funerals of fallen fire members. The married dad of 2 young children was trying to become medically cleared to re-enter the firefighting force before he was fired. Floyd had been just shy of vesting additional medical benefits for his family and more than $600,000 worth of death benefits when he was booted, now leaving his family with nothing despite his years of service. I wouldn't wish it on anyone, Floyd's 34-year-old widow, Christine, told the Post of the family's experience. I think it definitely took a toll once they let him go, she said of her husband's firing. He was always tired he always tried to stay positive about it, and he wasn't really angry. But you see a person and the wheels start turning in their brains where they're just constantly thinking. So I do think it did affect all of us. After Floyd was fired, he found a job with a nonprofit that helps veterans, but the pay was a fraction of what he made at the fire department and benefits were limited. The hours prevented him from spending time with their kids, a boy that was 6 and a 2-year-old little girl. He used to be present for our kids and stuff, Christine said. Being a firefighter was something he was really passionate about. He was really big time, family person, and he was all about his kids. If Derek would have stayed on, he would have had a life insurance policy with the fire department, the widow said, and that would have helped out financially because right now it's really bad. I'm honestly swimming in a lot of debt. Floyd's firing was part of City Hall's plan to slash the FDNY budget by $74 million by the end of 2025 to make way for other spending. It is unclear how many long-term duty staff will ultimately be let go as part of the effort, but there are typically between 800 and 1,000 designated people with that designation at any given time. Also facing cuts is the New York Police Department, which has had its budget slashed by $132 million through the axing of 5 upcoming police academy I can read. Police academy classes. The city's education department will lose about 547 million too, and the Department of Sanitation will have its budget cut by 32 million. And here he is, you know, this man lived a life of service. If this story, if people putting it out, sharing it all over the place doesn't get the fire department to make good on someone who was actually trying to serve, I'm gonna lose my crap. I really am. Floyd's firing and the circumstances that have now befallen his family since his death because of it have left some outraged. I'm here right now, and I'm outraged. What disturbs me most is that the Fire Department of New York is understaffed by hundreds of firefighters. Terminating Floyd was absolutely unnecessary. Uniformed Firefighter Association President Andrew Ansbro told the Post he had an important job, and the fire department actually needed him in that unit. He was terminated so the department could prove that they were making cuts. He deserved better. Christine said that watching her husband struggle to make ends meet while being present with his family after the firing was the worst part of everything they've experienced. I really, really loved him, and it was so hard, she said. We are heartbroken over the passing of former probationary firefighter Derek Floyd, and will explore all legal, financial, and legislative options to help his family and ensure they have the support they need at this time. The fire commissioner, Laura Kavanaugh, said. So at least the fire commissioner is admitting that this is an issue. Like I said, I am simply an angry redhead on the internet, but if I can bring a little more attention to this, I'm happy to do this. I don't know if they have a GoFundMe. It doesn't say. Oh, okay, wait, here we go. Donations to help the Floyds can be made out to New York Firefighters Foundation and sent by mail to FF Derek Floyd, care of you. So there is, I will, actually, you know what? Right now, I can put this, I think, copy. No, I just want the doodad. I will copy and paste this article on. So if you feel like you want to help this family, then you are certainly welcome, and let me go in and I can do that because I have all the magical powers of spasness. All right. So I just put the article up. I am definitely going to be sending them a card. I can't imagine the pain that they've had to deal with, and then to also have financial issues. Yeah, I know it's not usually the happy news that I put up, but I felt strongly that I wanted to get eyes on this because regardless of how you stand politically, and I want people to be able to live in comfort no matter where they come from, with a good government. Punishing people that are serving well to cut the budget for people that maybe haven't paid in just yet is a little irritating. And you're going to get if we get a lot more stories like this, it's going to get really bad. Public opinion is not going to be great. In happier news, if you're a dendrophiliac, here's your story. And dendrophiliac means you're kind of in love with trees. So here's your story if you happen to be attracted to trees. A Guyanan man hugs trees for 1,123 hours for a world record. A Guyana man studying forestry in Alabama set a world record for most trees hugged in an hour when he hugged 1,123 trees at Tuskegee National Forest. Sir, love is love, and I would never judge you, but he must have been having to sprint or it's just Alabama. It is hot. Abukar Tarahu, 29, became interested in nature conservation while growing up in a farming community in Tepa, Guyana. He is pursuing a master's degree in forestry at Auburn University. The record attempt required that Tyru wrap both of his arms around each tree in a close embrace without causing any damage to the tree. Well, look, I'm thinking between bark and male member. The bark's gonna win, so I don't know how you would damage anything, but okay. This is how you get shrubs, people. This is how you get shrubs. He was also fasting for Ramadan at the time of this record attempt, which presented another challenge. Not being able to drink water throughout the attempt posed a significant challenge, especially given the physical exertion required. He told Guinness World Records. However, this has also proved to be helpful in a way because there was no need to pause for water breaks, allowing me to continue the attempt uninterrupted from start to finish. Averaging 19 trees per minute, this man can service all of your trees. What is going on here? Did anyone have this on their bingo card? Because man engaged in dendrophilia was not on my bingo card, but okay. I mean, I hope the trees consented. I don't know. Can you imagine a tree just branch backhands him and they're like, okay, well, nope, that's a no, and we are proud of consent here, so that tree is no. This is how you get poison ivy and poison oak. I can't. Tyru easily surpassed the minimum requirement of 700 trees to establish the record. The record raises awareness of the importance of trees and environmental conservation. I don't know, this photo looks a little bit more like he's having all the fun. I mean, no. Like, so what are you doing this? Can you see him calling home like, hello, Guyana. Hey, Mom. Hi, Dad. And they're like, son, what are you doing in college? I'm hugging a lot of trees. And they're like, we told you not to go to that devil, soulless America. I mean, can you just, I don't even, like, Mom, guess what? I hugged 1,000 trees. Okay. This is what we're sending you to school for? Just, I don't know. Both the tree and he look awkward in that photo. So, but young love is often awkward. Speaking of love, we have a continuance on an old story, this is actually something different. Ivy League class clown killer is to be freed after nearly 25 years behind bars. So this might be a case that we can look up and perhaps do a retro react because it looks interesting. A high school student who murdered 2 Dartmouth professors in their own home in a bizarre plot to rob them and move to Australia has been granted parole after spending his adult life behind bars. Okay, wait a minute. So I am getting a stand-up whiteboard. But I don't understand how unaliving 2 professors and robbing them gets you to Australia, but I'm sure you'll explain it to me. James Parker, now 40, was 16 when he and Robert Tulloch convinced Half and Suzanne Zantop that they were conducting a survey on climate issues in 2021. After the Zantops invited the 2 teenagers into their New Hampshire home, Tulloch stabbed Half and allegedly instructed Parker to stab Suzanne. The boys did not know the couple and chose their house because it looked expensive and was surrounded by trees. I can only imagine what those trees have seen. All right, well, that's just a bigger picture. Oh, no, I didn't. Dang you. Okay. Before the unalivings, the duo estimated they would need $10,000 to move from their homes in Chelsea, Vermont to Australia. Have you been talking to Kat, Chandler's girlfriend? Because I think it's going to cost you more than $10,000 to move from Vermont to Australia. But okay. And they plan to make random captives give them their financial passwords before unaliving them. But they only made $340 off of Half's wallet and were tracked down by police after leaving the sheaths of their knives at the home. For the love of all that is holy. Although police initially suspected a crime of passion from a suspected affair, according to a reporter later retracted by the Boston Globe, fingerprints on the sheath and bloody footprint led them to the boys 3 weeks after the January 29th, 2001 killing. Nearly 25 years after he pled guilty to being an accomplice to second-degree murder, he told New Hampshire State Board of Parole that his actions were, quote, unimaginably horrible. We were attempting to move overseas to live some sort of life of adventure, Parker recalled his plan with Tulloch. It's just so hard. I've gone over and over it. Just finding an explanation for that is just, I don't know. I don't know how I could do that. I know there's not an amount of time of things that I can do or to change it or alleviate the pain that I've caused. He talks in really odd sentences. So I'm trying to, in my mind, edit this. He told the board on April 18th, I'm just deeply sorry. Those who knew the two high school boys were shocked by the unalivings, telling Cape Cod Times they were class clowns. Jimmy is the class clown, Casey Purcell, a senior who attended Chelsea High School with the two boys, told the outlet after their 2001 arrest. He's never really serious. That's all there is to him. Rob is the one who always gets voted most likely to take over the world just because he's so witty, but they are not violent. They do tricks and stuff, but nothing like this. Parker's attorney, Kathy Green, touted her client's quote-unquote stellar disciplinary record during his time behind bars. Parker earned his bachelor and master's degree while incarcerated, she said, and painted... You know what? This is the part that ticks me off. Okay, he earned his bachelor's and master's being paid for by me, well, mostly Mr. Mo. I help spend the money. But, I mean, what's to stop some kids from just doing an attack so they don't have student loans at the end of this? Yeah, clowns, especially if they come from space, we should not allow that. I say no interstellar clown migration. I'm against it. As your president, I will not even parlay with, insane clowns from space. That's how you get, weaponized popcorn. He has acted in jailhouse theatrical productions. Oh my God, could you see Streetheart named Desire from jail? And taken up sports and helped to develop educational guidelines for inmates. 24 years ago, when he was 16, Jim Parker committed a terrible crime. He has fully accepted responsibility for his actions and remains deeply remorseful, Green told Fox News Digital Friday. He knows that nothing he can do or say will bring solace to the family and friends of the Xantops. However, she said her client has, quote, spent the last 24 years doing everything in his power to not only improve himself, but to better the prison community. He's very appreciative that the parole board has given him the privilege of living in the community. Green said that he would not be commenting to the media out of respect for the Xantop family. You know what? I will say that that is actually a classy move. Instead of doing what Gypsy Rose Blanchard did and do all of the press, kind of forgetting that you're a little bit famous for unaliving someone. Now, and this could have been his lawyer saying that, but I find that to be respectful, that he's not going to go. And I hope he did change his life. Again, if you're even the world's worst Christian like me, you have to believe in atonement and redemption, and I hope he really has worked on... Oh yeah, well, that's because he looked like her mom. Like, who wants to marry their mom? Not me. I mean, if you're into it, have at it, whateverness, but I don't want to know about it unless I ask you. That's the don't ask unless I ask you to tell rule. Parker was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum of 25 years after he testified against Tulloch per court documents. The Supreme Court ruled that it was unconstitutional to send a juvenile to mandatory life imprisonment in 2012, and Parker appealed his sentence in 2018. He withdrew his petition in 2019 after hearing of the Xantop's surviving daughter's disapproval. Among 9 people associated with the Xantops who showed up at Parker's parole hearing, one cried out when his request for early release was granted. In light of the parole board's decision, daughter Veronica Xantop said she wished James Parker and his family the best and hoped that they can heal. I mean, this is class on both sides. I mean, he withdrew his petition in 2019 because it really bothered the daughter. And, the daughter is not dragging him or doing anything. She just wishes them the best. I mean, this is a hard one to make a statement about, especially because I can't speak for everyone affected by what happened. Veronica Xantop told the outlet, "For me, I miss my parents, and I'm deeply sad for everything they and we have missed out on. I miss my father's sense of humor and kindness, and my mother's sharp wit and tenacity in all things. Among so many other things, I am deeply grateful for all the support we have received." Her mother was 55 and her father was 62 when they were unalived. The 2 German immigrants both taught at Dartmouth University. Suzanne was the head of the school's German study department, and her husband taught earth science. The pair were beloved by their students and colleagues and had an open invitation to many of their homes. Tulloch, now 40, got a mandatory life sentence without parole for first-degree murder in the killings. He is scheduled for a new sentence hearing in June. After its 2012 decision, the Supreme Court ruled that Tulloch and 4 other men who were sentenced to life in prison should be resentenced. I will say that this one, welcome Penny Ward, thanks for joining us. This one, I love this story. Not for the sadness of the unaliving, but how classy both parties acted at the end. I mean, for him to not take, all the media thing, and for her to just say, look, it happened, and, I wish him well. I hope he's redeemed himself. I mean, that is high class to me. But I'd have thrown rotten food at him because I'm not high class, and you hurt my family. I'm going to have a grudge for the whole daggone year of the whole era of my life will be grudgeness. I am queen of the pettyverse. I make no qualms about that. Finland is now the world's happiest country. Fed, I think we know why, because you just have bunches of roads where you get to take these awesome videos and look great. If one of the mods could put Fedorowski's link up, he does wonderful scenic drives, things you wouldn't think to see, very relaxing. He has no shaky cam. It is beautiful. And if you need a place to relax, Fedorowski's channel is it. Excuse me. After I tell you all the bad things that are going on in the world. Unfortunately, the U.S. drops to an all-time low. If you're happy and you know it, move to Finland. Gallup released the 2024 World Happiness Report, and it turns out young people in the United States and Western Europe are becoming less satisfied with their lives. Welcome, JW. Oh, he does? Wonderful. Thank you for letting me know that. I did link the article in the description, so I will probably be going there. And look, I'm 100 air, but I have enough I'm going to be sharing, and I think that's great that other people are helping. Gallup, so people in the United States are just not happy. Who knew? The report, which is conducted over a 3-year period, surveyed more than 100,000 people in 143 countries who were asked to rate their lives on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best possible. Since the mid-2000s, Gallup's found that happiness levels have fallen steeply among those aged 15 to 24. In the US, while young people in Western Europe saw a more gradual decline. Thank you, Ghostery. Out of 143 countries polled, the US ranked 23 overall, an all-time low for the US, falling 8 spots, and 62nd for people under the age of 30. This year is the first year since the report launched 20 years ago that the US didn't fall in the top 20 happiest countries. The data supports the idea of a loneliness epidemic among young people, and although loneliness isn't unduly high on a global scale, it's almost twice as high among millennials compared to those born before 2000 or 1965. I mean, maybe because, hey, get off your phones and have real adventures. Could you imagine Stand By Me when everyone's on their phone when they're trying to find the dead guy body? Like, I mean, that wouldn't have been a great story. Or the Goonies when they're all on their phone, like, oh, looks like One-Eyed Willie's treasures, total BS. I saw it on Snopes. And it's the end of the story. Again, perhaps talking to real people. I'm trying to do more of it. I understand I sit in a glass house surrounded by stones while saying this. I get it. While there's no one single reason behind the decline of happiness in younger people, it shows the importance of, quote, having someone to count on in times of need. As one of the top predictors of life satisfaction, Laura Atkin, a social psychologist and one of the report's editors, told Semaphore. The trend of Nordic countries taking the top spots continued this year, with Finland clinching the title for happiest place in the world, followed by Denmark, Iceland, Sweden, Israel, the Netherlands, Norway, Luxembourg, Switzerland, and Australia. Good morning, Fraud Wrangler and Jiraiya. If I didn't say welcome, welcome. Mika Mitaklo, a proud Finn, and I butchered that. Look, no idea, y'all. Not one even ounce of a clue. A proud Finn and CEO of customer experience company Happy or Not told the Post in a statement, "There's definitely a sense of surprise that we're the happiest country. A lot of this comes down to the fact that we typically aren't known for expressing too much emotion. In fact, we have a joke in Finland about a Finnish smile, which is just a neutral expression." Despite the surprise, Mika said that the Finnish are incredibly grateful to be named the happiest country. He added that some of the best part of living and working in Finland include the beautiful nature and the generous 4 or 5 weeks of annual holiday. Excuse me while I go make my passport ready for Finland. Although it can be extremely cold and dark here for a lot of the year, the Finnish concept of sisu, meaning resilience or grit, and our love of saunas are just some of the ways we keep our spirits up during that time. Ultimately, however, I think the biggest factor in Finnish happiness is that there's a great deal of trust in our society between fellow citizens, and this also applies in the workplace, between managers and employers. In my opinion, trust is the key to successful organizations and happy employees. Well, that's not going to work for me. You're talking to the country that invented Office Space. I don't know that. And yes, we're there down at 23 because, I mean, why not? I do have to say that I think we should be happier than Chechnya and Lithuania, damn it. I demand a recount. This was rigged. We are definitely happier than Slovenia, I promise. Ireland, we're probably 50-50. Look, but I say Lithuania or Chechnya would have been... This is why Mr. Mo cannot handle me. In legal news, quote, falls short of demonstrating good cause, end quote. Federal judge hands Elon and X a discovery win in thermonuclear lawsuit against Media Matters. Anything that makes Elon win over Media Matters is my kind of jam. A conservative federal judge in Texas, known for, quote, repeatedly ruling that Obamacare was unconstitutional, granted Elon Musk a discovery. And I love, if you notice, how even places that are supposed to be politically neutral will shove in things that into a sentence that don't matter. You could have said a conservative judge in Texas granted Elon Musk a discovery win, but instead you had to throw in there that he repeatedly ruled that Obamacare was unconstitutional. It's things like that where I think people are getting more savvy to the political leanings in their media. Let's see here. In the ex-owner's self-described quote unquote thermonuclear lawsuit against Media Matters, the liberal group that accused the social media company of placing major brands' ads, quote, next to content that touts, the bad people in WW2. Before Musk filed the federal lawsuit, he promised that it would be thermonuclear in strength. Musk claimed that Media Matters has a blatant smear campaign against X and falsely portrayed it as a haven for hate or haters to defame the company, and said it was harm it financially following Musk's purchase. And thank you, Fraud at Wrangler, for the 5 memberships, and those went to... I'm trying to be all on top of it today, and I'm only halfway on top of it. So those went to Deborah, Penny Ward, Wheezy Bob, Jariah, and Nunya Business. Thank you so much. And I am working on adding more videos to member stuff last week. And as we're on a tangent, so there was not legal shenanigans theater yesterday because I had to increase the dose of my new medicine and it made me dizzy AF. Like I looked like I could never actually pass a sobriety walk test, but yesterday was worse. So I am feeling better, but holy fazoli's was yesterday a not good day. On Friday, U.S. District Judge Reed O'Connor, a George Bush appointee, rebuffed Media Matters' attempts to keep the lawsuit from moving to discovery phase, writing that the defendant, quote, falls short of demonstrating good cause to stay discovery pending a ruling on their motion to toss out the case on various grounds. O'Connor said Media Matters' claims of having several strong arguments in favor of dismissal were not enough for him to deviate from the usual practice in the Fifth Circuit. So basically, Elon Musk, they're going further in the process. They didn't just drop the legal case out on its face. So now they get to start asking for evidence and things like that. And this could be a windfall for Musk, because all of this information that they have to send over could be damning for Media Matters. And Media Matters is known to be very grossly biased and taking things out of context and things like that. So this would be absolutely devastating if Elon Musk was able to prove that they're internally, attacking creators or going after creators without cause. And I think that there might be Slack communications all about that if I know my Media Matters people. While O'Connor said that he had a, quote, disagreement about whether or not a substantial part of relevant activities occurred in the Northern District, warrants careful review, the judge said. A cursory review of Media Matters' motion to throw out the lawsuit does not obviously reveal that venue is improper. In March, a federal judge in California, who happens to be the brother of retired Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer, threw out a different Musk lawsuit, one that alleged that a Center for Countering Digital Hate was causing advertisers to flee by reporting that under Musk's watch, X was all the bad. He just let all the bad people in. I mean, the throat singers and the people with the screaming bowls, all of those people. In that dismissal, which Musk is appealing, senior U.S. District Judge Charles Breyer concluded that the lawsuit was about punishing free speech that X's owner didn't like. Breyer then opined that the case against Media Matters in Texas was another example of Musk using the courts to punish his opponents. As opposed to, we could go back to the 90s where things were nice and I remembered things being nice, but it seems to me that 90% of litigation is trying to punish your opponent because you think you're right. So, anywhoozle, I am not a legal person. I am sure Kurt would have a wonderful breakdown of what all this really means in legalosity, but I am interested that they're going to get to discovery in the Media Matters case because I feel like there's going to be a lot of things that Media Matter doesn't want, kind of like the X-Files, when those first dropped and we learned that the government had a backdoor into X, and we learned that they were purposely kind of downvoting or using the algorithm to block a lot of things that the party administration did not like. It does make you wonder what kind of discovery it's going to... I like the Spice Girls. That was the first CD I ever bought, because I'm weird. In our final story, an update to a story that we've done before, but ex-Wisconsin University chancellor is still making his $90K salary despite being banned for filming all the prawn. Oh, yes, you may. You are able to, as we are all tangenty today. It is Monday. Oh, y'all, did you know that the Prius has a button to park? It's not on the little, neutral drive doohickey. No, it's a button. I was like, this is too dumb to be real. And then it was real. I can't drive without hearing engine sounds. It's too weird. Anywhoozle. So this this chancellor is still making money. And there's a picture for you. Oh, good. No, there's not a... All right, we're going to have to stop with this picture. Good Lord. Ex-Wisconsin University chancellor is still making his $90,000 salary despite being banned for filming the Smexy videos. Oh, yes. No, that's fine. You can do that. I thought I was the only one that saw that. But PSA, Fun Dyin would like to let y'all know that since they have an elevated seat with which they drive, if you are going to self-love, they see that and will point and giggle. A University of Wisconsin professor is still raking in his salary despite being demoted over X-rated vegan cooking videos he and his wife make with high-profile corn stars. Because that's, everyone has to have a hobby, right? Joe Gao was fired last year from his role as a chancellor at the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse, but was allowed to stay on as a communications professor. His annual income dropped from $263,000 to $92,000. Despite other educators making bank from despite other educations making bank from adult video, someone get the New York Times a copy editor. I swear to goodness. Gao says his XXX career isn't paying the bills and he called it a hobby. I win. I was right. It is a hobby. Gao, now 64, is currently not allowed to step foot on campus, and the Post has confirmed he's still on paid leave. He will face a hearing later this year to decide whether he can return to the classroom. In the meantime, he's collecting his professor's salary and still pumping out X-rated content at a rapid clip. Because of course. Why not? I mean, who knew that corn scars could cook? I say let everyone cook in the kitchen. I would just maybe not be nude while doing it because, oil splatters. Last month, the interim chancellor, Gao's replacement, filed 3 charges against him, accusing him of unethical conduct, failing to cooperate with an investigation, and using schools' computers to produce pornographic material. Sir, you're not supposed to use your work laptop. I mean, come on now. I don't care what you do in your privacy, but daggone. Someone who, like me, is a grammar outlaw. The charges are connected to 2 racy ebooks Gao and his wife wrote under pseudonyms: Monogamy with Benefit, How Corn Enriches Our Relationship, and Married with Benefits, Our Real-Life Adult Industry Adventures. Oh God, I don't want to read about Grandma and Grandpa go to Dallas. No, why? I'm going to have to buy these books and read them online. This is hilarious. Actually, let me write that down. I have an Amazon Kindle. I can do this. All right, y'all. We're reading Monogamy with Benefits. And seeing how we can benefit, because I feel like reading a story. So I'm going to go see if that's on Amazon, and then we're gonna, or Grandma and Grandpa do corn. Let's see. Gao insists that the video and books were never mentioned in his University of Wisconsin-La Crosse, officiality. Or he never told anyone at the university. He believes the Regents Board violated his free speech rights when they fired him from being a chancellor, and that being relieved of his teaching duties will further harm his career. They want to fire me as a tenured faculty member, Gao told the Post, but what I do with my wife, or a bunch of other people apparently, on my own time and using my own equipment is none of their business. Gao is married to a former University of Wisconsin-La Crosse professor, Carmen Wilson, known online as the, quote, sexy happy couple, end quote. They promote themselves as a Smex positive couple promoting free expression. Y'all, what? I didn't have Grandma and Grandpa, do Dallas on my bingo card, and I'm not making fun of them from their ages. This is just cringe-hilarious, and oh my God. They're going to move to the villages and STDs are going to spike like a jillion%. Okay, this has to be the most uncomfortable kiss I've ever seen, and I'm only putting that up there for my discomfort. I say smexy time instead of sex. Gao insists the context is ethical as possible. No one is cheating on anyone. This is us enjoying our sex life openly and honestly. Can we please put it back in the Pandora's box? I did not, y'all. The rule for the commune is you are allowed to have whatever kink you like. You just don't tell me unless I ask, and then I will probably ask all the questions, and I'll be like, "That's really weird." Okay. That's odd. We're in love. We have fun together. People don't understand it and it makes them uncomfortable. That's why they want me gone. No, I think people just don't want to know about your naked bits time. No one cares. No one cares about your naked bits time. We just don't want to be, unconsensually brought into it because you put stuff on the internets. His removal has divided the student body and the city of La Crosse, sparking a debate over whether a corn actor who once paid a veteran corn star thousands of dollars to speak with students on campus is fit to teach young adults. Some students say Gao is a good teacher who shouldn't be judged over his movie hobby. And Smex's work is real work, a student, Hannah Hogan, wrote on an online petition. Her dad is so proud. Her dad is just like, I sacrificed my life. I worked double shifts so my kid could go to college, so she could say that SMEC's work is real work. Awesome. I'm gonna go sit in my bark lounger and just cry a little bit. But in a letter to the editor of the La Crosse Tribune, a resident, Lisa Gilbert, said Gao is unfit to mold the malleable minds of college students. Have you seen the college students that are being put out? Maybe this guy is about the best one we've got. So this woman accuses the adult film industry of trafficking, and that Gao is perpetuating and profiting from an industry that victimizes both men and women, many of them minors. Gao will face a hearing later this year and says he has not hired an attorney and intends to represent himself. Y'all, if anyone lives in La Crosse, if y'all could go to this hearing, because I need to see pro se corn professor. Oh my gosh, please stream this, University of La Crosse. Look, it's been a weird year, and we all need something to point and laugh at, and I would love for you to stream this if possible. The burden of proof is on them to prove I did something wrong, he says, and I don't know how they're going to do that. Mark Pisht, a spokesperson for University of Wisconsin system, did not return the Post's request for comment. Gao acknowledges that his side work isn't lucrative, but is more of a hobby to enhance his marriage. I know, that's like it is a nexus of all cringe that doesn't happen but once in a lifetime. You thought the eclipse was a big deal? The pro se corn professor has to be the happening of this decade. We can talk about this. Well, what are we talking about? I'm judging, but I love what we've created, he said. This has brought my wife and I a lot of openness, and it's enhanced our relationship. Why should I feel shame for that? Jack Murphy, I have no idea. Y'all, between the man hugging the trees and everything else, I have no idea what's going on in the world, but hey, Monday started off strong early in the morning and we've got all the craziness. That is awesome. I can't even imagine a pro se adult film star professor. That has made my day. So those are the news stories today. And, just a thought for today. I put together my little mini stair stepper, and, every day or every hour, I'm going to try to do 2 or 3 minutes. It's humbling. It's humbling from doing serious weightlifting and possibly join oh no, this is real. This is a New York Post exclusive. I can send you the link. This is actually happening in America. This is why you send your kids to college. This no one spite, you're not smelling toast. If you are, contact, someone else that can help you if your side feels, numb. But no, it is just stupid enough to be real in our year, the year of our clown, 2024. Now, I will say it is humbling to go back from doing serious weightlifting to having to limit myself on a stair climber, but let's all try to take those small little steps of what we can do and make every day something better than tomorrow. So, maybe tomorrow I'll be able to do 3 minutes consistently. I have no idea. I failed out of 2 colleges. You'd think I would have met a corn professor somewhere, but no. And my walking pad is almost here. So look, we can all get a little down, especially when life throws us a curveball. And I hope this is a place that inspires you. And I have to lead by example. So I'm going to get off here and do my 2 minutes for 10 o'clock. And we will be good. Also, I still want to complain about the park being a button on freaking the Prius because Mr. Mo came over after he took my car in for the tire, and I was like, I don't know how to park this thing. I don't know how to park this thing. Like, I don't know if I can. And he's like, it's the button. And I'm like, why isn't it on the little driver stick shifty thing? Who knows? I'm sending you over to Baker. He is doing Karen Reed today. The trial, not the person. Any hoozle. I will see y'all later. Looks like there's storms coming in, so I need to get off here soon. Anyway, I will see y'all later. Bye.